Happy Halloween, St. Clair's. We're going to go outside in a little bit and I'm going to take you on a tour of our Fairyville garden. And the fairies have decorated for Halloween. After that, Suzanne will share the gospel story about not puffing up too much. And tomorrow, Sunday, the day after Halloween, there will be a special trunk or treat, trick-or-treating event at the church in the Circle Drive. Come in costume if you like, between 1 and 3 in the afternoon, and go between distanced tables that the youth and the youth group leaders have set up for trick-or-treating. Feel free to invite a friend if you'd like. We're encouraging masks and social distancing, and it should be safe for everybody and fun. Hope to see some of you there tomorrow. I know my older son Becken is looking forward to helping put on the event. Alright, so I'm going to get my hat on here and we'll go outside and tour Fairyville, decorated for Halloween.
Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Halloween's the night to dress up like a sprite and give your friends a fright. Look out, it's Halloween. Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Boo! Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Halloween's the night to dress up like a sprite and give your friends a fright. Look out, it's Halloween. Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Boo! Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Halloween's the night to dress up like a sprite and give your friends a fright. Look out, it's Halloween. Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Boo! Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Halloween's the night to dress up like a sprite and give your friends a fright. Look out, it's Halloween. Witches, pumpkin heads, and black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Boo! Amen. Witches, pumpkin heads, black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Halloween's the night to dress up like a sprite and give your friends a fright. Look out, it's Halloween. Witches, pumpkin heads, black cats, scary spooks, black bats, oh it's Halloween. Boo!
Hi, boys and girls. The gospel for this Sunday is from Matthew chapter 23, verses 1 through 12. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat, so do and observe whatever they tell you, but not the works they do. For they preach, but they do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens hard to bear and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to move them with their finger. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their people brood and their fringes, they make their coats broad and their fringes long, and they love the place of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces, and being called rabbi by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And call no man your father on earth, for you have one Father who is in heaven. Neither be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Christ. The greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." So this reading is about pride and humility. And I wanted to show you something today. I don't know if you've ever played this card game, Rook. I used to play it with my siblings and my grandparents often. And I had a brother. I had three brothers, and one of them's in heaven, I think. But I have three brothers and one sister, and we played rook all the time. And it was rook was a little guy on the front, and then different colors. And it was kind of a fun game of collecting cards in different colors, I guess you could say. So one of my brothers, I'm in the middle, and one of my younger brothers used to brag and brag. He always boasts, I'm the best rook player. I can beat anybody. I am so good. And we just all listened to him, and he just was so boastful, bragging about how good he was, because it was really a fun game for our family and everyone enjoyed it. So, and he did win some games, but as time went by, he had a losing streak. I don't know if you know what that means, but if you're playing ball or something, sometimes you have a losing streak, which means you keep losing and losing and losing. So it was kind of interesting because he didn't show humility. He was very boastful, and then he regretted it because he had a losing streak and he kept losing. So we all said kind of jokingly to him, well, if you wouldn't have bragged all the time, you wouldn't be losing now. It's just like karma putting you in your place or something like that. So anyway, the Bible talks a lot about pride and humility. And Jesus warns us not to be too full of ourselves, which means we don't want to brag about our ability or think we're better than other people. If we build our confidence on our own strength and power, it winds up pretty wobbly, like my brother's. I mean, it didn't sustain, it didn't last, because he was so boastful and it wasn't true. So the Pharisees, those church leaders who thought they were pretty special and didn't really like Jesus, we've talked about them before, they often tried to tell others how to live their lives. They talked a big game, but they didn't really practice what they preach, which means they didn't really do what they said they were going to do. They didn't truly love other people, but they just wanted attention. Jesus told his disciples not to be like that, and we don't want to be like that either. We shouldn't boast about things all the time, because God is the source of our strength, and he is a foundation for our lives more than our personal pride and ability. So rather than trusting in ourselves, we want to practice humility. That means we don't think of others as being under us somehow or not as good as us. We treat other people with kindness rather than looking down on them or trying to tell them what to do. And we recognize that every good thing comes from God. When we build our lives on God as a foundation, we are able to do more than we might have ever imagined. And when we don't act like we know it all or can do everything, that's when God can work through us. We rejoice that it's not all about us, but about him. So I found this to be true in the occasion that I was concerned about my abilities, like could I do this, or could I make this, could I use my skills for this craft, or whatever it was that I was endeavoring to do. I found that if I put my trust in God and just asked him to help me do my best, and I stayed focused, that I did a really good job. But I also know that I shouldn't go around telling everybody, oh, I did that easy. I could do that. I'm such a winner. I can beat you at this. Because it's really not about that. Also, it's kind of rude to talk like that. And there'll be a day when you try to use all your abilities and you can't do it. So just try to be humble and love others and be proud of your accomplishments and the things that you do, but don't be boastful and prideful and brag to people like they are less than you, like they can't play rook as good as you can play, or something like that. So let's close with a little prayer. Dear God, help us to remember that you are our leader and our teacher. Let us not become puffed up, our ego with pride, but grant us attitudes of true humility. Help us to live as your son Jesus lived. Thank you for your love. We love you, God. Amen. So I hope you're having a good time around this time as probably when you're going to trick or treat or trunk or treat in a day or two. And November is right around the corner. We're going to be having a new month pretty soon. It's pretty hard to think that Thanksgiving is only like a month away. So in some ways it seems like this year went really fast, and in some ways it seems like this year went really slow. But I hope you're doing well in your studies. I know it's kind of tedious or hard to always work on from the computer if that's the way you're learning. And going to school, like Rowan and Delilah, they have their challenges going to school too, because it's different than before. Everyone wears masks and there are different numbers of kids. So no matter which way you're learning this year, I hope it's going okay for you and you're remaining patient and trying to learn something along the way. So I'll talk to you again next week sometime, and take care. Be kind. Bye-bye.